Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the AJS TV channel. Today we're doing a tier list. A lot of you guys have probably heard of Tier Maker, the website. There's been loads of YouTube videos seen from loads of different genres. This one is an Aston Villa one. As you can see, we've got the full Aston Villa team, including Henry Lansbury, who currently doesn't play for Aston Villa, but the rest are all here, including, I suppose Hurahan's also on loan. But I think it's very well made and put together. Made by a guy called Heelzay. If you go check him out, give him support. He did all this, which is very, very well done for him. I'm going to keep this as raw as possible. Like my live streams, I go live for a couple hours for the Villa games and everything goes quite smooth. Other videos I do is very edited, very cut, because I make a lot of mistakes in videos. I'm not perfect. So this won't be perfect at all. But I'm going to start with Emmy Martinez. I think I have to put him in A. The only reason he doesn't go in this tier is because of that man right there. But I'll go into that later. Emmy Martinez has probably been our best signing this season. Very, very competent goalkeeper. So impressed with how good his shot stopping is. He holds the ball really well. Doesn't spill a lot of chances. Bowls the ball out. His distribution is amazing. And I couldn't ask for a better goalkeeper. The reason why we've had a lot of clean sheets this season is because of that man. What an amazing signing. To be fair, every signing we've done, I think, has been at least fairly decent. But what a player. Emmy goes into A. Tom Heaton. I'm going to put Tom... I'll put Tom into B tier. I do feel for Heaton because when we signed him, I thought it was an amazing signing last season. You know, he came from Burnley. He's played for England. I think on his day, he's a very good goalkeeper. He got an injury ironically against Burnley. Him and Wesley on the same day. A very long term, I think ACL. But you guys will know exactly what his injury was. But it was very long term, and it meant that we had to get Pepe Reina. Nyland also played for the end of last season, and it's a shame because as soon as he's back fit, we bought in Emmy Martinez, so he's not really had a chance to get back into the Villa lineup. But on his day, like I said, he's a very good goalkeeper. I think really for his career, he probably should move on. I think he could be a very good Premier League keeper, a bit like Ben Foster, very similar. And I hope Heaton can get himself back into the England team because I don't overly rate the England goalkeepers that we have now. The final keeper, Jed Steer, I will put him in C. Massive credit goes to Jed. I think we wouldn't be in the Premier League if it wasn't for Jed. Penalty saves against West Brom. He made an unbelievable save, I think, in the first leg. Also against West Brom, he tipped with Jay Rodriguez shot onto the crossbar. I'm sure you guys will remember that. I think he did quite well in the Championship. We went on a 10-match winning run with him. He was replaced, ironically, by Heaton, who's been replaced by Emmy Martinez. But I think all these keepers have been very good for Villa, and we've been very, very fortunate. All miles better than Nyland, who I'm glad is no longer playing for Aston Villa. Easiest one to go for next is Grealish. Grealish will get his own tier. I'm not going to even bother putting anyone here. Emmy's probably one of the closest I'd put in S tier, but it would be very harsh to put anyone with Grealish. Amazing player. Everyone knows he's our best player. We've seen how poor we can be without him. Incredible, incredible. Top stuff from him. Ollie Watkins, I think probably our second best signing. He's done a lot of good things for Villa, scored a lot of goals. His hold-up play is really good. Strong, he works very hard. Very, very impressive. I think I'm going to put him also in A tier. Maybe it's a bit too kind. I think he's hit the post quite a few times. His composure... I question it a little bit in front of goal, but I still think he's been a top signing. Maybe I'm a bit too critical, really. Trezeguet. Now, I'm a bit in the middle of Trezeguet. If it wasn't for his goals at the end of last season, we probably wouldn't be in the Premier League. He scored 2 against Palace, scored the winner against Arsenal. But as of this season, very inconsistent. I think the wingers of Villa have been very inconsistent, and the reason why we've had a bit of a fall off recently. I think I'm going to put him in C tier. He does work very hard. I think he defends quite well as well, as we use the fullbacks and the wingers to both attack and defend. And I think his pace does help with the defending part, but I don't know. I don't think his end product is as good as what it could be. Then I'm going to go on to Bertrand Traore. Again, on his best day, he could be A tier. On his worst day, he could be D tier. I feel just like Trezeguet, but I think even more so. He's just very inconsistent. He feels like in his head he's Lionel Messi. He takes on loads of players. He's very confident, I'll give him that. But he's kind of a one-trick pony, very one-footed. Doesn't use his right boot for absolutely anything. Always cuts in on his left. You need 5 minutes to study on Bertrand and you know what he's going to do. His touch can be insane, but then can be absolutely awful. I don't know what he's going to do from 1 minute to the next. He scored a few goals for Villa this season, but a lot of games we've lost because his just end product has been very poor, just like Trezeguet. I touched upon it the other week when I did a player ratings. I can't remember who it was against. I think it was either Sheffield United. But him and Trezeguet, again, were very poor. And the wingers of Villa have been poor, I think, bar Grealish, in truth, really. Neil Taylor, substitute left back, I think quite off it against Matt Targett. I don't think he's anywhere near his level. He's played at left back and right back when we needed to. He got him off Swansea in the Championship. I think he fairly struggled in the Championship, in the truth. But I say he's reliable, but he's not near the top of our players. I think I'd rather him than maybe Al Mohammadi, but he weren't better than like Gilbert in terms of Villa fullback. So I'm gonna keep him in C tier. I've been a bit harsh to these lot recently. Targett, I was probably one of Matt Targett's biggest critics last season, but I think he's one of the most improved players. I think his delivery can be really good. His synergy with Jack Grealish is amazing at times. I've seen like triangle passes between Grealish, Targett, Barkley. Bringing the midfield into the game, I think is very, very good on his day. Possibly could get a shout out in the England team, maybe. But I think with Luke Shaw, he'd definitely struggle to get anywhere near the team. But I think he's been one of our best players. I'm very surprised to say that. I didn't really want him to still be with Aston Villa this season, but I'll hold my hand up. I can admit when I'm wrong. I am only human, and I think he's been one of our best players. So fair play to Target. Ross Barkley. The fans are divided on Barkley. He clearly has talent, but I don't think he's the most hard-working player that we have for sure. I think he can have the potential to completely turn over a team. We saw how well he played against Liverpool. He got the winner against Leicester, got the winner against Southampton. Like, there's been definite moments where he has stood out to be really good for Villa. But then there's games that we've lost where he just doesn't really work hard enough. Like Nakamba doors, or like John McGinn doors, or even Sanson since he's signed for Villa. That's my only disappointment with Barkley, but I don't think he's been too bad. I think fans can be a little bit fickle sometimes and forget, the good moments players have. Maybe me included as well. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put him in B tier. Maybe some people would disagree with that. Jacob Ramsey, I'm gonna put him in the same tier as Barkley. Young Villa prospect. Not really seen much of him. He's only recently started to play for Villa. He started a few games. He's come off the bench in a few. Signs of promise. Hasn't scored a goal. I think he got an assist against Bristol City in the Cup. But, it's early days and he could improve. He could be the new Jack Grealish, really. But as of right now, it bounces between B and C tier for me. But he's young and we can all hope for the best. I think he could become a top player one day. Marvellous Nakamba. You know what? People probably think I'm insane. But I'm going to put Nakamba in A tier. Now, hear me out. I think when Nakamba plays, he's probably our best defensive midfielder. I don't think he puts a foot wrong. I'm not entirely sure why he hasn't started more games. I think he's been way more consistent than Louise and Mcginn put together. Every time he plays, he gives me loads of confidence. I thought last year his passing was a little bit off, but I think he's improved on that quite a bit. The only thing I'll say, he's not the best going forward, but we don't need him to do that. If we can have him just defend, I think he can really be our anchor man in midfield. I think he's a top player, deserves way more credit than what he gets. And yeah, I'm just very pleased with him. This, by the way, isn't all like in order. So like, I wouldn't say Heaton's better than Barkley or Ramsey. This is just, these are in A, these are in B, these are in C. Just so you guys know, because I could take another half an hour putting who goes where. I'd probably say Watkins, and maybe Nakamba. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep these in the tiers. Wesley's a difficult one. It's been well over a year since Wesley played, but he scored, I think, 5 goals in 20-ish games. Not a great conversion rate. I remember his goal against Everton, his first goal. I was very impressed with his game that day, but then he went a while without scoring. He got 2 against Norwich in a 5-1 win, but then went a while without scoring. He did play well, actually. Ironically, on the game he got injured. He played quite well, scored in that as well. But I think overall, fairly disappointing that the fact that, you know, people are talking about playing Keenan Davis rather than Wesley or playing 2 up front really shows that he was struggling to compete in the Premier League. It is a tough division. But he didn't have an amazing goal scoring record in Belgium, let alone the Prem. I'm going to put him in C tier, maybe a little bit harsher than Wes. But it has been a while since I've seen him play. So I feel like if I put him ahead of Traore or Trezeguet, it would be unfair on these two. So I'm going to put him in C tier. Tyrone Mings, probably the most criticised Villa player. I think he goes in A tier. He got us promoted. I think he can have a bit of an ego sometimes. He plays from he's a ball playing defender. A little bit cocky at times, I feel, but he's a great player. I don't get where all the criticism comes from. Everyone loves Konza. I think Konza's a better defender than Mings, but I think him and Mings together have been the reason why we've done quite well this season. Whenever Mings makes a mistake, everyone on Twitter will attack him for it. Everyone will make loads of comments on the goal notifications and stuff like that, and always point the finger, which I think is a little bit unfair. On his day, he's amazing. Reason why Southgate also plays him as well for England. I think he's a top defender for Villa and does deserve to be in A tier. And I think I'm going to bring Konza here as well. If I was to bring Konza, I'd probably put him at the front, actually, and then Watkins there. And I'd sort all that out, maybe like that. That would do. I think Konza is probably Villa's second best player. I will not overwrite that. I think Konza's fantastic. Just watch my live streams. I will probably say, wow, Konza's amazing in that live stream. I think I've done it every single live stream I've done. He doesn't seem to ever make a mistake. The man is very composed. Tackling is such an art with him. I have no idea how he's not been looked upon the England team. He's had more recognition online, which is fantastic. I've finally seen other fans notice how good Konza is. People are saying that, Tyrone Mings isn't even Villa's best defender, yet he's playing for England. But Konza's incredible. He scored a couple of goals for Villa this season. Scored Villa's first goal this season as well against Sheffield United. Amazing player. Deserves all the credit. And if we do well this season, if we finish well this season, it'll be down to that man right there. John McGinn. I think McGinn had a little bit of a fall off. I think I'm going to put him in B. Hard working, but I don't know. There's something missing with him. I feel like his finishing has dropped a bit from last season. He scored against a lot of the big clubs like Tottenham, Arsenal last year. Everyone remembers the Sheffield Wednesday goal he scored. I just feel like his finishing has really dried up. Every time he shoots, I'm not bothered. I feel like he's going to put it in Rose Ed every single time. But he does work fairly hard. I just want more consistency with McGinn. I think that the last time he played really well, I think it was the Leeds United game, where he really put a shift in. I think that was the one with Jacob Ramsey also starting to. But then there's been other games he's played really, really poor in. So I think I'm going to keep him in B tier. Just like Douglas Luiz, he was probably the Villa's best player after lockdown last season. I thought he worked really, really hard. His tackling was amazing. I remember one clip where he ran like 50 yards to make a tackle as the last man. I don't know what beast woke up in Luiz, but that also helped to stay up that year. I feel like he had a tiny bit of a fall off, less than McGinn, but I can't really put him in A tier. I don't think it justifies him being in the same as these lot. Some of you will think I'm insane for putting the Canberra ahead of these, but that's just how I feel. I'm not going to rate Lansbury, doesn't play for Villa anymore. Hirahan, I would put him in C. He is on loan at Swansea, doing quite well for Swansea, to be quite fair. But I would put him there. Possibly between B and C if there was a tier there. But I definitely wouldn't put him in A. Gilbert also out on loan. I think Gilbert is better. You know, I'll keep Lansbury down here because they don't, you know, they're not currently Villa players. But if I was to rate them, you know, Gilbert would probably be B tier. I think he's better than Neil Taylor. Don't really know why we sent him out on loan. Then we've got Courtney Howe. I think he, again, is a very good player for Aston Villa. He doesn't play a lot, though, for Villa, so it's really hard. I'm trying to think about the games that he's just played. I think I'm going to put him in... I think I'll put him in B. I'd put him in A if he played more, but to be fair, it's, you know, it's not his fault that he doesn't play too many games for Aston Villa. But I feel like if he played more, he'd be easily on par with Tyrone Mings. Very competent defender. Scored a couple goals for Villa this season as well when called upon. I think him and Konza make a very good duo. I'd like to see more of that in the future. I'd like to see him play more, especially... Say we lose and we concede a couple of goals, you know, drop Tyrone, maybe drop Ezri if he has an off game. There's depth. We got depth, I think, in the defensive category anyway, and he's a very top player. Someone who I think has also improved quite a bit from last season. Anwar Al-Ghazi. I may have to put someone in. Kind of forgot about these here. I think I'll put Al-Ghazi in C, a bit like all the rest of the wingers. Again, just has off days. He likes to have a shot a game. I remember the Burnley game, he had 27 attempts on goal. I think he had about 10 of them. Shooting can be decent, usually quite wayward. Can't play him right wing, has to go on the left and cut in on his right boot. A bit like, you know, a bit opposite to Traore in that sense. But he's not as technical as Traore. I think his finishing is better than Traore. But again, I just think Villa need new wingers, man. This is the reason why we've struggled between these three and Grealish being injured recently. Yeah, I'll put Lansbury in D. Lansbury was poor for Villa. Didn't really play much. Al-Mohammadi, again, gonna put Almo in C. I'd say his best quality has been crossing, but when he played for Villa, when Cash was injured, I thought his crossing was fairly poor. So I'm really trying to see what he offers. He's quite old now, a veteran player for Villa. Played for us in the Championship. Didn't do too bad there, but it's different levels between the Premier League and the Championship. I do have to put more players in D, really. So I may have a mix around when I've got all this done. Matty Cash, A. I don't even need to go on. He's very versatile. Fantastic player for Forest. Fantastic player for Villa. The Villa defenders, as you can see, I'd all put in A. The times where, you know, we played poorly going forward, like the Brighton game where we drew 0-0, and we got a clean sheet because of these, you know, these four amazing men. It'd be harsh to put any of these in a lower tier. I think Cash has just been amazing. We've really missed him. I'd say we missed him as much as Grealish, because Al-Mohammadi just is nowhere near the levels of Cash. Keenan Davis. Where would I put Davis? Where would I put Davis? You know what? I'm gonna put Davis also in C. I between C and D for me. I get no emotion when Davis comes on. He doesn't score for Villa. He's a striker that has missed a lot of chances. The Arsenal one that we could have got relegated for if Arsenal got an equaliser. It doesn't score. What? He's a striker. It doesn't score. Everyone says his hold-up play is good. And yeah, it is. But, you know, compare him to Watkins. Watkins has scored goals. Where's his goals? That's what matters. It is that simple. Louis Barry for Villa scored his one chance against Liverpool. One shot, scored it. You know, that's a sign of a good player. Davies has had several. Still hasn't. He scored a goal against Burton in the cup. Not impressed at all. And then we got Bjorn Engels. Engels has been frozen out of the team for whatever reason. I remember the Man City Cup final, nearly scored the equaliser to send us to extra time. Header hit the post. I think it'd be very harsh to put him in, especially in D. I think I'm going to put him in C again. Loads of see, this is a common theme. Half the Villa team is C and below, and it's the reason why we are mid-table. It's that simple. It's the reason why we won't push for Europe, because we just got loads of mediocre players, not much depth in a lot of attacking positions, and you know, we've had players like Hurahan. I think Hurahan with his set pieces offers more than a couple of these players, but he's just C tier, very championship. And Gilbert, I'd say Gilbert is better than he's better defensive player than Engels, but certainly better than Neil Taylor. I was trying to think of any changes I would make to this. I am tempted to bring Mings down just one and swap him with Courtney Howe. And I'm tempted to take Trezeguet down to D tier. You know what? I will take Trezeguet down to D tier. Maybe harsh on Trezeguet. The reason why I put Traore ahead of Trezeguet and Al-Ghazi ahead of Trezeguet. Al-Ghazi nearly won Player of the Month. I think in December. He scored quite a few goals. Really turned up. I remember the goals against West Brom, Chelsea. I think he did quite well in that month. And then Traore, he does turn up with a goal here and there. Like I said, he's had quite a few like good games. He's had a lot of bad games. Don't get me wrong, but Trezeguet, I don't think has had either of those. I don't think there's been a single game this season where I've thought, wow, Trezeguet really impacted this game. So for that, I think I'm going to put him in D. I'd like to see him go. Maybe Al-Ghazi go. I'd keep Traore. I would actually keep Traore and get in other wingers. I think he could be a good sub to bring on. But I am going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. Just let me know what you think. I've probably got a few of these wrong. You guys can let me know in the comments below. It's been nice to do a video that I haven't had to edit that much. You can see the real me. You can see the real me in my live streams as well. But I haven't done this in a video. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys at the very least for the Fulham live stream.